Let me ask you something. When life hits you hard, do you crumble or do you rise? Because here's the truth. The world isn't built to make you comfortable. It's built to test you. And most people, they break. But the rare ones, the ones who walk through chaos like it's just another Tuesday, they've built something most never will. They've built unbreakable habits. And once you master these 6, nothing, and I mean nothing, can break you. We all want to feel strong. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The kind of strength that doesn't need validation. The kind that doesn't panic when things fall apart. But here's what most people get wrong. Strength isn't something you're born with. It's built. Habit by habit. And every time you choose the harder path, the uncomfortable truth, the disciplined response, you're adding one more layer of armor to your character. Today I'm going to share 6 habits that separate the fragile from the unshakable. These aren't hacks. They're not trendy self-help ideas. They're battle-tested behaviors that, once mastered, make you unstoppable. Let's get into it. Habit 1. Master emotional control. Emotions are powerful, but when they control you, they destroy you. Think about how many people lose everything because they react too fast. They say something in anger. They make a decision in fear. They give up because they don't feel like it. The strongest people in the world still feel those emotions. They've just trained themselves not to be ruled by them. Emotional control isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about feeling deeply but responding wisely. When you get angry, breathe before you speak. When you feel scared, act anyway. When you're tired, remind yourself why you started. Because when you learn to master your emotions, chaos becomes just another challenge to navigate, not a reason to quit. Habit 2. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is temporary. It's a spark. Discipline. That's the fire that keeps burning when everything else goes dark. Most people wait to feel ready. The unbreakable ones, they move regardless. When you wake up and don't want to go to the gym, you go anyway. When you don't feel inspired to work, you sit down and do the work anyway. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. It cares about your mission. Because if your habits depend on how you feel, you'll never build consistency. So stop chasing motivation. Build discipline. Every time you show up when you don't want to, you're rewriting your identity, from someone who quits easily to someone who finishes regardless. That's what separates the weak from the warriors. Habit 3. Learn to be alone without feeling lonely. This one's hard and because silence makes most people uncomfortable. We're addicted to noise, to validation, to distraction, to constant connection. But when you can sit alone, in silence, and still feel at peace, that's real power. Being alone is where you meet your real self. It's where you stop performing and start understanding. And the truth is, you can't be unbreakable if your sense of worth depends on who's around you. Use solitude to reflect, to think, to recharge. Don't be afraid of it. The strongest people in the world often walk alone, not because they're antisocial, but because they've learned to find peace within themselves. Habit 4. Focus on what you can control. Life will always throw you things you can't change: people, outcomes, timing, luck. But the moment you stop fighting the uncontrollable and focus on your actions, your mindset, your response, that's when peace begins. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can I do right now that's within my control? That question alone has saved millions of people from wasting energy on anger, blame, and despair. You can't control the weather, but you can control your attitude. You can't control others, but you can control how you treat them. You can't control the outcome, but you can control your effort. The day you start mastering your internal world instead of the external, you'll find strength that no one can take from you. Habit 5. Embrace discomfort. Here's a truth most people run from. Comfort kills growth. Every time you avoid pain, you choose weakness. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you trade long-term strength for short-term relief. The people who become unbreakable aren't fearless. They're just more comfortable being uncomfortable. They push through awkwardness, fatigue, rejection, and doubt. They understand that pain is not the enemy, where stagnation is. Start training your brain to seek discomfort daily. Take a cold shower. Speak up when it's hard. Work longer when you want to quit. Because every uncomfortable moment is a rep for your resilience. And over time, that's how you become the kind of person who thrives under pressure. Habit 6. Keep your word to yourself. This one sounds simple, but it's rare. When you tell yourself you'll do something, and you actually do it, you build trust with yourself. And that trust becomes confidence. Most people destroy their self-respect by breaking promises to themselves. I'll start tomorrow. I'll quit soon. I'll try next week. Every broken promise chips away at your power. But when you start keeping your word, even in small ways, something changes inside you. You walk taller. You think clearly. You stop seeking validation because you trust yourself. That's what makes people unshakable. Not perfection, not luck. Integrity, even when no one's watching. When you stack these 6 habits together, emotional control, discipline, solitude, focus, discomfort, and integrity, you become something rare. You become the person who can't be manipulated by emotions, who doesn't rely on luck, who doesn't crumble when the world gets hard. You stop being a product of your circumstances and start being the creator of them. And that's when people look at you differently. They can't quite explain it, but they feel it. You've got that quiet, unshakable energy that says, I've been through worse, and I'm still here. That's what true strength looks like. Not loud, not flashy. Just calm, centered, untouchable. So here's the takeaway. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be prepared. Prepared for whatever life throws your way, because you've already built the habits to handle it. If you start mastering even one of these habits today, you'll feel the difference. But when you master all 6, nothing can break you. If this message hit you, take a second. Ask yourself, which habit do you need to work on first? Drop it in the comments. Because awareness is the first step toward change. And if you found value in this, like the video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Remember, you can't control the storm, but you can control who you become in it. And when you do, you become unbreakable.